So we've discussed the capture, structure and reuse practices. Now let's focus on the improved practice, which consists of 3 techniques, and the first being reuse is review, which looks at how the day-to-day use of the knowledge base actually equates to review, and how we can constantly improve the quality of the KCS articles that have provided value to the support organisation. The goal is to create a culture of collective ownership. There needs to be an underlying sentiment within the support organisation that the knowledge base is our knowledge base, and it represents the best knowledge that we know to date. Every time we interact with the knowledge articles, or in the moment of use, we are then responsible for their quality. So remember, if you're going to use it, be sure to review it. In most organisations, we know that up to 80% of KCS articles will rarely or never be used. Of the remaining 20%, some will be reused consistently. So the first question that comes to mind, why bother creating them all if they're not all going to be used? Well, the problem is we don't have good predictive capabilities. We cannot predict the future value of a support experience. So here's the logic for this position. Support organisations in high-tech arenas see less than 3% of the total customer demand for support. This position is outlined in the consortium's paper called A Demand-Based View of Support and can be downloaded from the consortium's website. This means that 97% of support demand is served through self-service, online communities, forums and social media. So why we in the support areas have the best intentions, we don't have the context to make future value judgments. They've also found that reuse patterns and articles on the web are different than they are internally. There are those issues for which customers will use self-service and are happy to find an answer for themselves, but they wouldn't bother to open up an incident ticket to get an answer. And it appears from the analysis of self-service data that this pertains to a very large amount of issues. So, we need to commit to capture all the experiences. If the question is worth answering, or the problem is worth solving, then it's worth having in the knowledge base. So we capture it and we let the other KCS processes improve the quality of the articles that turn out to have value. In the early phases of KCS adoption, phase 1 and 2, we let reuse draw our attention to the articles that have value. By embracing the concept that reuse is review, we are constantly improving the articles that are being used. For those articles that are never referenced, we haven't wasted any time reviewing them. This is an example of the fundamental KCS principle of a demand-driven system, and one of the reasons why KCS is so scalable and efficient. This demand-driven technique optimizes resource allocation and helps companies avoid investment to dedicated quality assurance and editorial staff. Reviewing knowledge during reuse also helps encourage timely availability of information and avoids the high costs associated with post-incident knowledge engineering. In the third phase of KCS, called leverage, we will have enough KCS publishers in the organisation to actually publish in the moment those articles that we have confidence in, and we can publish them directly to the customer portal. In the third KCS adoption phase, called leverage, we will have enough KCS publishers in the organisation to actually publish in the moment. We will publish those KCS articles that we have confidence in directly to the customer portal. In the leverage phase, we must have a fast, closed-loop mechanism for customer feedback, This means that customers themselves will participate in the reuse is review process. We've found that customers are pretty quick to point out articles that don't work or they don't understand, and we have to be able to respond with corrective actions just as quickly. Now, this is much better than reviewing every KCS article that is created, which is a huge waste of time and money. Articles should be written in a way that is sufficient to resolve the customer's issue. So remember this: sufficient to solve, not perfect to behold. You like that? Witty, isn't it? In the solve loop, this means, as support analysts, we are responsible for the quality of the articles that we interact with. We modify and improve the KCS articles as we reuse them to increase the KCS article quality with each interaction. In this way, we focus only on those articles that are being used. Another fundamental premise of KCS states that the best people to create and review knowledge are the people who use it every day. Reuse is review reinforces this concept.